You know, it's a rare movie indeed that can make me genuinely question my career choice as a film critic, but I think Rebel Moon 2 might have just managed it. Or to give it its full title, Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. It's one thing to be comically inept, it's another thing to be boring and tedious, and it's another thing to be completely derivative, cliched and unoriginal, but it takes a special kind of cinematic anti-genius to bring all these things together into one movie. Luckily for us, Zack Snyder has just the right combination of flawed vision and completely unjustified self-belief to pull it off, because good lord, this movie was terrible in ways that actually left me feeling strangely impressed. Like, you have to actively work to make a film this bad. Anyway, I'm gonna do the opposite of Rebel Moon here and try to be as quick and efficient with my review as possible, so on with the plot summary. The movie follows on directly from the events of the first film. Strong female character has assembled the not-so-magnificent Seven to defend some shitty village at the ass end of nowhere from evil space empire, led by a man with possibly the worst haircut in all of cinematic history. Honestly, every time I looked at him, all I could think of was Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber, so let's just call him Evil Lloyd. So after kicking Evil Lloyd's ass in the first movie, strong female character and the not-so-magnificent Seven return to shitty village to celebrate, because, you know, losing one senior officer is clearly going to be enough to make this entire space fleet abandon their mission and go home. But oh no, it turns out that somehow Evil Lloyd returned, because death is more like a temporary inconvenience in movies like this. Well, when the script needs the rest of the plot to happen at least. So Evil Lloyd and his evil chums are planning to return to the village in a few days to take all of the grain. Oh yeah, the fucking grain. In case you missed the first movie, in which case good on ya, it turns out that a galaxy-spanning space empire that's mastered faster than light travel and literally bringing the dead back to life doesn't know how to grow food and relies on peasant farmers to keep them from starving to death. Fuck off, film. And because this is a straight-up knockoff of Seven Samurai, it's up to strong female character and the not-so-magnificent Seven to plan some kind of defense to fight them off. I mean, you could probably just poison the grain or something, but whatever, let's just get on with it. So Evil Lloyd and his evil chums show up and they spring their trap and there's a whole bunch of fighting and a couple of the not-so-magnificent Seven get killed before strong female character sneaks on board Evil Lloyd's flagship and blows it up just before it fires its super weapon at the village. Then she kills Evil Lloyd permanently this time and goes back to the village to celebrate, and the ending does the most horrific thing imaginable. Teases the prospect of more movies.
Oh man! Oh god! Oh man!
I've spoken in the past about my admiration for tight, efficient screenwriting that's able to convey a lot of information in a short time while making it seem effortlessly easy. Rebel Moon, on the other hand, is the complete opposite of that. It's like this film was written by a retarded AI that only had one other script to draw from as an example, and that script was Rebel Moon Part 1. Every conversation drags on at least 50% longer than it needs to, reiterating shit that the audience already knows and repeating things that have already been said. There's literally a scene where every major character sits around a table and lays out their tedious, repetitive backstories, one after the other, in one gigantic exposition dump. What's that? Your peaceful village got destroyed by the evil empire, setting you on a path for revenge too? Oh my god, what are the odds, eh? This is not how you do character development, Zack. The antagonists make insanely dumb decisions at every possible stage, failing to spot very obvious traps, constantly putting themselves in vulnerable positions that they totally don't need to, and failing to make use of their overwhelming advantage in numbers, firepower, and technology. They're so fucking stupid and gullible that I genuinely don't understand how they even managed to not crash their ships into each other. Like, there's one point near the end of the movie where strong female character is able to sneak on board the enemy flagship by pretending to be a friendly pilot with wounded on boards. Like, wouldn't that require some kind of clearance code to make sure that she wasn't an enemy infiltrator? Wouldn't they recognize that she's flying a completely different ship from everyone else? Wouldn't they check her ID the moment she lands to make sure she is who she claims to be? Nah, they just let her on board so that the rest of the plot can happen.
Son of a bitch!
And that's not even mentioning the stuff that's just plain old baffling. Like, why is an intergalactic space dreadnought powered by fucking coal? Why are the bad guys so concerned with grain until they're not? Why does strong female character waste valuable time giving herself a fucking haircut before the big battle? Why do these violin players have bags on their heads? Why is Anthony Hopkins in this movie? None of the characters have anything even approaching a personality. Strong female character is a complete charisma vacuum that I didn't care about one bit. I wasn't interested in her backstory because it's so preposterous and melodramatic that it barely even made sense. I didn't care about her romance subplot because there's zero chemistry between the two actors, and I certainly didn't care about any of the other not so magnificent seven because the film gave me no reason to. They're all boring, disposable, interchangeable non-entities with all the personality of a bowl of porridge, played by actors who are probably way too good for this shit. And aside from this, all the usual Snyderisms are present and correct. The bloated runtime, the washed out colour palette, the depressingly over-serious tone, the complete lack of identifiable human behaviour, and of course, the abusive use of slow motion. Like, I really hope you enjoy watching people harvesting grain, because about 30% of the movie is just people swinging farm implements in slow motion like this is a charity appeal for food aid to Africa or something. It all adds up to a big pile of pretentious, dull, unimaginative dog shit without an ounce of energy or creative imagination. A film that was an absolute chore to get through, that has nothing to say and seems to have no particular reason for existing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I totally get why people wanted these movies to be good. I know we need to start creating new things to replace the tired old franchises that are being slowly bulldozed into the ground. But while it pains me to say this, Rebel Moon isn't the answer and Zack Snyder isn't the man to provide it. Take my advice, save your time and look elsewhere. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now!